The jailing of an informant for talking to the media seems like a tale straight out of a Soviet-era police state. But that's exactly what FBI informant Andrea Gomez says happened to her after she spoke to J.W. August, managing editor of 10 News. J.W. August joins us to talk about what happened with Gomez. J.W., this story really starts with what Gomez says was a disclosure by the FBI of her role as an informant. What kind of informant was she?
She was their top informant in a case against the local Mexican mafia, which is a powerful organization that runs the Hispanic street gangs in San Diego, based out of prisons. And she was an insider. She actually was the conduit from the top of the hierarchy, the Tio or the Leo, of the hierarchy to the street gangs and the soldiers on the streets. She would communicate for the boss down to the troops.
How did the FBI reveal her identity?
In telling this, in chasing this story, at one time I was sitting outside FBI headquarters when the bust was going down of these Mexican mafia types. The FBI had done a big bust based on the intelligence Andrea Gomez gathered, and beside me was the cameraman, and I thought, oh, gee, I thought all the time Channel 10 had the exclusive on this. And this cameraman's shooting everything, and he tells me he's a freelance photographer for the Discovery Channel, and that the FBI had given them complete access to her operation from day one, called Keys to the City. And I thought, well, that's peculiar. The documentary came out and revealed things like they were supposed to conceal, not reveal, who she was, because she was a dead woman if they found out, the Mexican mafia. And they showed where she lived, what kind of car she drove, very distinctive, 2 different cars. And while they blotted her face and gave her a male voice, if you knew her, if you were a mob guy, you'd know it was Andrea.
So we're talking about the FBI, where secrecy is the order of the day. What kind of explanation have they offered for, in effect, disclosing her identity?
They will not talk about it. Neither they or the Discovery Channel will talk to me. I called the Discovery Channel multiple times. I tried to negotiate with the FBI to go on camera and talk about this case. They will not talk about it. The only thing I get is she's a bad girl, she's a bad apple, and they were supposed to move her into their informant in the witness protection program, which is run by the U.S. Marshal's Office. And there was I think a lot of things went wrong.
So we should say that we tried to talk to the FBI as well. They said that they would not talk because the matter is pending before a U.S. District Court.
Correct.
But Andrea Gomez goes on to share her story with you. What happens to her after that?
The FBI is monitoring us, which, unbeknownst to me, she contacts me because I am her what she called her insurance policy, because her deal with the FBI to go into the witness protection program has fallen apart. She's frightened. She contacts me and emails me. The FBI is intercepting them. She's hiding out in the Carolinas at that time. They had moved her there, the FBI did, preparing to move her into the witness protection program. She's hiding out there. She connects with me and said, the whole thing's blowing up. My handler, the FBI handlers that handled just her, our relationship's stressful. They're not moving me in the program. I don't know what's going on. The FBI intercepts those emails, flies FBI agents out of San Diego to Carolina, actually South Carolina, and convinces the local sheriff to put her in jail for obstruction of justice.
So very quickly right now, we have 30 seconds left.
Okay.
How do you perceive the charges against her, the drug charges against her, and her speaking to you? Is there a link between the two?
I'm just concerned that they may be punishing her for talking to me. They already had her spend 60 days in jail in South Carolina for talking to me. I'm wondering if these drug charges, I mean, they have the top U.S. prosecutor in this city going after her for what's supposed to be a low-level drug charge.
Okay, J.W. August, it's a compelling story. Thank you for telling us.